everyone keeps saying Arsenal need a striker, Arsenal need a striker, Arsenal need a striker. Listen, I love Tony in this squad. I love Osimhen in this squad. Solanke's a decent player. I'm all for having a different option in this team. But I wanted to just take a couple minutes just to talk about how Arsenal can actually address this without spending 100 million. Those are the quoted figures for a Tony or an Osimhen. You don't need to spend 100 million to get us looking like a team that can score enough goals to win the title. Now, if you're talking about a striker being that difference when you're in amongst it with Liverpool and City, okay, cool. But we're not playing even like a title-chasing team right now on attack. We might be defending like one, but we're 13th, I think Jamie Carragher said, for goals from open play. That's not good enough. So I want to give you some stats from last season and just remind everyone of how good this front three that we're being very critical of now were last season. We scored 88 goals. That scored the Invincibles, may I say. That was our goal tally. Our goal tally ranked second in the league behind Man City. We had a total XG of 71.9. That was fifth in the league. So, okay, not amazing, but certainly not terrible. Our non-penalty XG was 69.1, and that ranked third in the league. Good numbers there. Now, I want to give you goal contributions in the Premier League from our 5 highest goal scorers, and that was our famous front 5 of last season. Jesus with 11, Saka with 14, Martinelli 15, Odegaard got 15 as well, and even Granit Xhaka contributed with 7. You can see that's a total of 62 goals, 38 assists from that front 5. Very, very impressive output. Now, for some reason, in fact, while I do this, let me just get this 11 out here. Now, a lot of people liken the Martinelli, Jesus, Saka front 3 to the Liverpool front 3. Now, before Liverpool fans get upset, not because of quality. Mane, Salah, Firmino are a legendary front 3 that went to 3 Champions League finals, got to 90-point tallies, won the Premier League, won the Champions League. They were immense. But where they're comparable is in the way we played last season, the kind of goals we scored running in behind, the fact that Jesus played as a false 9 whose job was generally to bring players into play. Now, from Liverpool's top 5 goal scorers of their Premier League winning season in 2019-2020, Firmino got 9 goals, Salah and Mane got 19 and 18, which is better than Saka and Martinelli. But it's not miles better, it's not 25 goals each. Van Dijk and Trent were then the 4th and 5th highest scorers. You could have Henderson in there with 4, you could have Wijnaldum there with 4. They tend to be the starting central midfielders. So the 5 top goal scorers for Liverpool that season got 55 goals. Now, to remind you that our front 5 last season, or our top 5 highest scorers, got 62 last season. So in our top 5 scorers, we've outscored that Liverpool side's top 5 from that season. Liverpool actually scored 85 goals that title winning season. We scored 88. Now, they didn't have, they had a plan B, to be fair, in Divock Origi, but they didn't have a 30 goal a season striker. They didn't have even Salah scoring 30 goals like he did in his first season, or getting to the 22s, 23s, 26s like he did before. Yes, Mane and Salah were world class. Saka and Martinelli aren't. And I know I flirted with the idea that maybe Saka is. But they're not to that level. But they're brilliant players and they've shown that they can get to a certain level. And I really want to focus on that point because we have scored at a title winning pace. That front 3 is the same, it's unchanged. And yet they look so far off what they did last season. Now, I'm going on because I've been talking very much about this as a front 5, not a front 3. Everyone's critical of our attack as a front 3, but it is as a 5. Odegaard has been very hot and cold this season. I thought even when he has played really well, he's had some off moments. And Kai Havertz is part of that front 5 as Granit Xhaka was. So now I want to show you some of Kai Havertz's stats compared to Granit Xhaka last season. This is per 90, taken from FBref. Have a little look at this. All right, Havertz is up per 90 on XG, but he's down on expected assists. He's actually up on progressive carries, not by a lot, but he is up on it. But then have a look at some of the rest of these. Xhaka for progressive passes, miles ahead of Havertz. Passes received, miles ahead. He's actually slightly lower on progressive passes received, but he's way higher on passes completed, way higher on total passing distance, so he's progressing the ball a lot more. He's way higher, or not way higher, but he's higher on key passes. He's way higher on passes to the final third. He's higher on passes to the penalty area, way higher for shot creating actions, and double goal creating actions as well. Everything a midfielder is meant to do, which is facilitate, yes, get on the end of things, but facilitate as well. Kai Havertz is falling so short of so many of those numbers that Granit Xhaka put up last season. Now, I don't blame him massively because his role is different. Xhaka would drop into spaces and combine. Receive off Zinchenko, 1-2s with Martinelli so he can get in behind. This season, we seem to be playing a lot more with Kai Havertz on the final line. And we've talked about this. We've done a video on this about how Kai Havertz is almost like a bit of a secret striker. He's on the end of things. He's not as part of the build-up. But we have lost something in this area of the pitch. It feels so vacated whenever Martinelli gets the ball. So, there are two potential solutions here. Firstly, you address the number 8 position. You just get someone who's more suited. Now, what's the nearest we've got to Granit Xhaka? Vieira on his left foot, maybe. I think probably Declan Rice is probably the closest. So let's go to here. So you therefore have to bring in Jorginho. Where is he? Bear with me all 1 second. Here's Jorginho. That for me is probably the nearest you can get to replicating last season.
Or you could bring in Thomas Partey.
Well, when fit.
He's fit, isn't he?
Well, I don't know.
Close to fitness.
He's not going to AFCON.
Yeah, but he's training, isn't he?
I don't know. That's what they're saying. I don't know. We will see. But
okay, Jorginho or Partey.
But the point is, absolutely, you get a 6 and you get Rice to play that. But I want to throw something else out there. Now, it might sound drastic, it might sound crazy, but it's really not. Mikel Arteta can play with this 11 without compromising on his principles, but do something different on the pitch. Let me show you how this would look. First and foremost, I think you need to get a little bit of width from different areas. So what if Zinchenko held the width every now and again, and Ben White? And then maybe you do this, maybe a centre-back split. Saliba and Gabriel can split, and Jorginho can pick up the ball off those areas. He likes to operate in those central areas. Now, what's he been doing all season with Rice and Ødegaard? He's actually had them dropping deep to progress the ball anyway. So cool, have them do that. Have them drop a little bit deeper like they were, and then you get your biggest goal threats, Martinelli and Jesus, Martinelli and Saka closer to Jesus. Then you've got your overlapping options. Now, Zinchenko's got a good left foot, White's overlapped well last season, and what do you end up with? Because like I said, cool, he doesn't want to compromise massively on his principles. I hear that, Mikel. You know, you don't have to completely change everything you're doing, but you still end up with your 3, your 2, and your 5. But the big difference here is you've just asked a completely different question of the opposition, because suddenly, who's picking up Saka in that area? Who's picking up Martinelli? Are you dragging a defender out of the way and making some room for Jesus? If Jesus drops in, is someone coming inside, the centre-back following, so that Saka can make that run? It is not difficult to make changes in-game so we can throw something different at the opposition. And when I was first thinking of this, I didn't maybe have evidence to hand, but I certainly do now. While I'm not thankful of Liverpool winning against Newcastle, they have given me some material. Have a little look at this. This is Liverpool's front 3 scoring their first goal against Newcastle. Zabozlai's entering that area in the penalty area. He runs off to drag someone with him. But Diaz, Salah and Nunez, 2 things to spot. They're the width of the penalty area, so they're narrow. But crucially, the right winger Salah has come into the striking area. Nunez has come wide. They've mixed it up. Diaz comes inside, does well, drags the player around. Look, there's quality involved in this goal. There's no doubt about that. Across goal, Salah puts into the back of the net. Now, is that the only way Liverpool play? No, because they've evolved as well. Here's their other goal where Gakpo scores, I think it's the 3rd. There's Salah on the touchline there. Really wide, where Saka picks up the ball a lot. But what happens when this ball comes wide to him, the fullbacks are having to come across quite slowly, but it's difficult to do because you don't know where he's going to pop up. So suddenly he gets the ball, narrow front 2 again, and Gakpo gets on the end of it. But the point is, in 2 different goals, you've seen Salah in the central striking area and you've seen him all the way out wide. And Newcastle struggling to live with it because Liverpool kept throwing different questions at them. And I just want to say a really big thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, actually hit the links right here to watch more content like this, including my Football First podcast, which drops every Monday to Friday at 6 AM. And I know it's annoying, I am really sorry to have to ask, but if you want to show support to the channel, hitting the like and subscribe buttons help promote the content much more than you could possibly know. Thanks again.